I will certainly try. So welcome to, this is the first of our virtual quarterly provider meetings for Early Learning Coalition for Flagler and Volusia. My name is Jancy Long. I'm the Director of Quality and Inclusion here for ELCFV. I started in January. Prior to that, I worked with Community Partnership for 18 years. So I have a lot of experience in Volusia Flagler County working with kids, and I'm excited to work with all of you moving forward on the early education. That doorbell is really annoying, sorry. And I know that we have a lot of providers in this area. I do want to say thank you for taking the time out of your busy and hectic day to participate in this meeting. We're hoping that this virtual format is going to make it easier for you to participate, so it cuts down on the transportation time and allows more of you to participate when we do these quarterly meetings. We also very much want to hear from you on what topics you would like to learn more about and what topics you need more information on. We want to make sure that we are here to help you and make you all successful. So whatever we can do, if you have ideas or suggestions, please use the registration form as you did to register for today. And there's an opportunity on there to ask for, to provide input for upcoming trainings and topics that you would like addressed, whether it's in the provider meeting or in the tips, tricks, and training sessions or question and answer sessions that we're also going to be getting started. So there have been some changes. Like I mentioned, I recently started with ELC in January, and there were some other department realignments. And Melanie, I think, is probably the best person to give an overview of some of the changes that were made. So Melanie, I know you're here somewhere.
I am here.
So, okay, perfect. Thank you. I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Melanie Barclay, and I'm the Director of Financial Services. And as many of you know, we did have a shift in our compliance department in March of 20, right as everything was starting with the pandemic. We had our former Director of Quality and Compliance depart the organization. So we thought it would be best to realign and separate the Quality and Compliance department with compliance from the contract compliance, monitoring, processing, reimbursement standpoint was a fit for finance. So therefore we kind of developed into financial services. Even through, the pandemic, as much as we want to be proactive, we've been in a very reactive state, but we've been trying to make some changes over this year where we're changing in communication, support. We've assigned some caseloads with our specialists. And so that way you have that direct point of contact. But if you don't, as a reminder, we have a blast line. So if you ever need to call into the agency, if you dial 8803, that goes and rings to the compliance department as a whole. And then we also have a standard email, compliance@elcfv.org, just like there's the quality one. So in the compliance department, there's myself, Melanie, and then we have Randy White, who is our program supervisor, Christy West, who is our current compliance coordinator, and sadly she will be leaving us. Her last day is Friday. We do have a plan to bring in a current staff member into that role. That takes time with the transition. We'll be sharing that announcement. And we have our high risk compliance specialist, Nona Seals, and we have our compliance specialist, Kim Burrows. And then we are also this week planning on submitting an offer out to bring on an additional compliance specialist, filling the vacancy from Heather Fives. So that's our realignment. We're happy to support you all, and hopefully you've been feeling the impact of the additional communication and the support that's to come, as well as these types of trainings. The staff member who's going to be joining us actually has a background on training, and we're really excited about what she can do to help us make sure that these keep going in a very productive way.
right, perfect. Thank you so much. Next on the agenda, we are going to talk, or Mickey's going to talk about the ASQ process, the Ages and Stages questionnaire. That is the assessment that's done on, I'm sorry, not assessment, screening that's done on all of the school readiness children with parental permission, which you all know and probably have more expertise in it than I do at this point. That's one of the things I am still learning. So I'm going to turn it over to Mickey to talk through the new ASQ process that is coming from OEL.
So welcome, and I'm really excited to share the new process with you that we're all learning together. So please, as we share this new platform, also give we all have grace as we begin to learn some of the new things that are coming with the ASQs and everything else that we're doing, right? So I wanted to let you know that some of the benefits of the new ASQ process that we're going to be doing. The ASQs are going to be going directly to your portal now. And I'll be showing you in some of the follow-up screens how you're going to be able to see that. You'll no longer get them via email. You won't be getting the Asia email between the 1st and the 5th of the month. You will be getting it directly into your portal, telling you that you have an ASQ for a certain child, and you'll have 30 days to complete that ASQ for that child. Most of the ASQs are going to come in as a request based on their redetermination date, so that will be coming in there. You're going to be able to have the results immediately. As soon as you're done, the results are going to show in your portal. So you'll be able to go in and look at the results and be able to plan accordingly and look at what's happening for that child and think about the aspects of how you can support that child with the concerns or no concerns that have come up. If there are concerns in that ASQ, the parents are not going to get the results immediately. We will be following up. Our family service team, along with some of us in inclusion, will be following up with those families to talk about the results and help them understand those results that are there. The link that you will have is going to take you directly to the ASQ that is appropriate for the child, and it will spell the child's name correctly, all of those things. So you won't have to worry anymore. Did I spell it right? And is it the hyphenated version or which version of the child's name are we going to have? When you click on the link, it's going to go directly to the child's name and the correct ASQ that should be going out for that child. I told you had the 30 days to complete the ASQ from the time it comes into your portal, and it will be telling you that how many days are there. If a parent doesn't complete it at enrollment, we're going to be asking you to complete it so we can limit any disruptions in services in that process, and that will be coming. And then you'll only be requested to complete the ASQs on children enrolled in your center. So I know presently many of the ASQs that Asia sends out, we get lots of replies back. They no longer attend our program. They no longer attend our program. You're only going to get the ASQs for the children in your center. So this is what it's going to look like in your new portal. You'll see here, you'll have the enrollments, and then manage SR enrollments, preschool development, developmental screenings, and then incomplete. So I'm going to encourage you, at least at the beginning, figure out a process of going in every day and looking, because ASQ requests could be coming in at different times throughout the month. And this will allow you to get in and know which children you have ASQs for. So try to remember that part that's there. The other part that this will help prevent is, I know for many of you, the email address in our portal is to the owner and not necessarily to the director. And so many of our ASQ requests go to the owners and they have to forward it to the directors. You're not going to have to do that anymore. The people who have access to the portal will know what ASQs are coming up due in that process. So this is how it will pull up when you click the link, and you will be putting in your childcare under childcare provider and then your email, and then click on next, and it will offer you the paper versions that you often give to your teachers to complete, and then you can come back and do that, or you can go along and continue to fill out the ASQ for that child. So then, at this point, you're going to be able to see all the children that need an that did not have a completed ASQ. So you're going to be able to see, it's going to show up all in a row here. And then you just push on this screening ID, and it's going to take you to the screening for that child. So that's going to be your queue, and the queue for where you'll get the results or the screening. And then you can search, there'll be a search button to put the child's first and last name. First, you just have to put 3 letters in and do that. And then the results will be back here under developmental screening and the search for those aspects. And so you'll see here, you'll be able to see the screening results for each of the children, and you can push that button, or it's going to tell you there's no concerns in communication or gross motor, or the screening was completed by the teacher. So you're going to be able to see all of the results that came from that ASQ for that child. So if you have questions, we are going to have some breakout rooms after this is all over, and you can certainly meet me in the breakout room, and I'll be happy to answer any of your questions when we get there. But isn't that exciting?
Thank you, Mickey, and thank you for your enthusiasm. This process does seem like it's going to simplify getting these ASQs done, and certainly will simplify and eliminate a lot of the emails back and forth and tracking when the child stopped attending your program and maybe popped up somewhere else. So this will be a lot cleaner. The intention of OEL is to release this at the end of this month. All indications are that it is on schedule. Certainly, if there's a change, we will let you know. And once it is released, it'll become active immediately. So you'll see the changes in the system as soon as you log in. And quality inclusion staff will be here to help you, support you if you have questions on the new process. And we'll do our best if there's any technical questions as well. If there are glitches with OEL, make sure to submit the help ticket so we can get it fixed as soon as possible. So next on the agenda, we've got eligibility and enrollment, and that is, Kim's going to talk a little bit about that. So I'm going to turn it over to Kim now.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kim Kanya. I'm the Director of Family Services. I have met most of you indirectly at some point, whether it's through email or phone. There are a couple of updates coming to your side, or not coming to, that are there on your side of the portal affecting the enrollments and eligibility, or regarding eligibility and enrollment. In the email invite, I don't know if Jancy, if we can share that. If not, that's okay. In the invite, there were some attachments. One of those, it states enrollments for SR, and it's discussing the pending family acceptance. So as you all know, when we enroll a child, whether it's the initial enrollment or a renewal, anytime that enrollment is touched, whether it's a transfer, whatever it may be, We send that to you all to accept. That is solely to assure that you are aware of this enrollment, that that parent has had that conversation with you. It's really just to make that first connection with that family. So after you accept that enrollment, it then prompts the parent the ability to electronically sign. Okay. OEL has released, it's been almost a month now, to where parents that are sitting in this pending family acceptance status, meaning you have accepted the enrollment, but they have yet to sign. It's emailing those families every 5 days saying, hey, don't forget to sign. What will happen now if when you're doing your attendance for March, if you are not seeing a child that you know is attending, that parent, if they are in that status, will not show on your attendance. So it is very important when you have a family enrolled, to just remind them that they need to accept that enrollment. Okay. One of the big hiccups that we have found for families is when they are completing their enrollment or their application, if they've hit that space bar one too many times or any kind of funky thing, it may stop them and it may say your name doesn't match. If a parent has an issue with electronically signing, please have them email us so we can get that fixed so there's no delay in processing anything on your end. So you can email childcare@elcfv.org, or you can call us at option 2. That way we can at least look at that with the parent to make sure. It does tell the parent when they're signing. Excuse me. It does tell the parent when they are signing, hey, it needs to match. And it gives them the example of what their name is. So there shouldn't be any issues, but as we all know, technology always poses at least 1 or 2 here and there. So any issues, let us know. Next on the list, which I think everyone will love, is you're now going to be able to view eligibility end dates as well as authorization dates. So I know one of the biggest issues were some of our funding groups, like our BG1s, for example. So any family under that referral, they don't get a full year. They're getting that time frame that referral is active. So most of those are for 2 months, and then we add on that 90-day job search. So on your side, what it looks like is that child has a year worth of care. And then the term is entered because the parent didn't come in to renew, and you're going, wait, it shows, rightfully so. So now on your drop-down screen, and again, this was attached to your invite, so you can look at it at that point too. There's going to be a drop-down option under your Manage SR Enrollments. And then you're going to be able to scroll down to Redeterminations, and you should have this option now. Okay. Upcoming redeterminations will let you know if a child that has a renewal coming within 15 days, that child will be showing on that list. And then you'll also be able to review any past due redeterminations, as long as they are, their file isn't made inactive. So take a look, check it out. Any issues, or if you're not seeing any children, or you know that you should have a child on there, let us know so we can assure that this is taken care of. This will be a huge benefit, I think, to everyone. So we're all on the same page, because it doesn't make sense that we weren't ever able to see that end date. That's the end date. That's the eligibility end date that we all are looking for. So you can help remind your families, because they're busy just as you are. And so we're at least all kind of on the same page to where we can all see the same thing. So any questions, let us know. And this is just additional support for you for this new tab. And that's what I have.
Okay, thank you very much. And as Kim said, that was also sent out with the invite as an attachment. And thank you, Erica, for putting it over in the chat as well. So if you want to access it there or through the invite, you have that option. We're also going to put everything on our website. the conclusion of this along with the recording so that those that could not join us today will still have access and get the information that they need. I just want to talk briefly about the PPP small business loan, the Paycheck Protection Program. Additional funding was put out through the Small Business Administration. I think an email was sent out on Monday with this information. They did have a window for small businesses with fewer than 20 employees, which did include family and center-based childcare businesses that had less than 20 employees. That deadline was Tuesday, so yesterday at 5. The applications are still being accepted until the end of this month. So through March 31st, you can still apply. The links were in the email. This information is also on our website and it can be accessed from there. So any questions with that, I would refer you to the website and to the email. That they have the application as well as the link to find a lender specific to Volusia and Flagler so that you can submit your applications timely. And just as I say it again, the deadline is the end of this month, March 31st, or until funds run out. So let's see, we're breezing through the agenda. Next, Nancy is gonna talk about summer VPK. Nancy has started a new role with ELC. I'm sure she's excited to share that with you. So Nancy, I'm gonna turn it over to you.
Got to get unmuted.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jancy. And first of all, I just want to welcome Jancy and just complimenting her on what a great job she's been doing so far with the team and with getting in connection with all of you. And just based on the turnout at this meeting, I see 51 participants now. That's pretty amazing. I know this has been really useful to you so far, and I know Jancy intends to continue it. So great work. I am very excited to be moving to a role of quality advocate where I can focus more on relationships with all of you, with the Office of Early Learning, with our community partners, to make sure that all of us are working together as best we can to make sure that we do the best possible job for kiddos in our community and families too, and giving them those opportunities for the best high quality early learning that we could possibly put together. So very excited to be doing that and enjoying the work and enjoying being available and here to support Jancy as she learns the many ins and outs of quality and inclusion. So yes, great stuff. Great to see you all here today. So we had a meeting earlier this week. What we know is that as a result of COVID, and maybe many of you have noticed this in your programs too, that you don't have quite the enrollment in your VPKs maybe that you would have expected this year, because there are families who are keeping those kiddos home and are concerned about COVID. And so many of them haven't had the opportunity to have a VPK experience. And what we would like to do as a coalition is to reach out to those families, and Kim's going to be working on this piece of it, to find out if you have a certificate of eligibility, why didn't you use it? Do you want to use it? Would you consider using it in the summertime? And then once we have that information, we can share that out with all of you to say, hey, we've got these hundreds of kids whose families are now looking for a summer VPK experience. And are all of you willing to make that available to them? So this is kind of your kind of first way to start the conversation about it, to get you thinking about maybe offering a summer VPK. And I know, gosh, lots of us are used to Zoom. Down on the reactions, if I can ask you just as a show of hands, how many of you have thought about offering summer VPK? I'm going to scroll through and see if I see any hands up. Okay, oh, like physical hands. Thank you, Glenn. Like a physical hand raise. I love it. Cool. So if you are, I'm hopeful that the fact sheet, and I just dropped it into the chat there, I'm hoping that that will help you know a little bit about what the benefits are to offering summer VPK and what's required. Specifically, I think one of the challenges is finding that instructor that meets those specific requirements for summer VPK. So making sure that you have plenty of time to figure out who that person could be in your program, maybe a person that's already working for you, and you can just offer them the opportunity to be in this role. A nice thing for all of you is that the reimbursement is a little bit higher for summer VPK, so that may allow you to offer a bit of an incentive to that staff person or that person that you might need to bring in for the summer, to kind of give them incentive to support you in offering a summer VPK program to children. The numbers, and I don't want to read to you the flyer because you can read it for yourselves, but I think you have to at least have 4 to start. And for summer VPK, that max is 12 in a classroom. So please think about that. We will do our best to communicate with you when we know about numbers and even where these families might be that might be looking for summer VPK. And I really want to bring your attention down here to the bottom. We want to support you. Sometimes our forms and our ways of doing things can be a little bit complicated, and we want to make sure we give you the support you need to get you through it. So I know Melanie and many of her team are on the call. They are here to help you with the application process, getting that VPK 10 and that VPK 11 and 11B in your calendar, all that stuff figured out and submitted. Kim and her team can absolutely help you if you have any challenges getting those VPK kiddos enrolled in your classrooms. And I know Jancy and her team are just ready to go with any support you need as far as getting curriculum going or challenges you have with kiddos. Warmline is here for you. We know that sometimes kiddos come into VPK as their first preschool experience or classroom experience, and they might need a little extra support, and your teachers might need a little bit of extra support. So we want to make sure that we provide all of that to you. So contact information is there for you. I'm going to stop because I think I also have a breakout room, so that if you have further questions about that, we can talk some more later. But thank you for your time today. Great seeing you all, and just thanks for all you do. Keep up the good work.
Okay, thank you so much, Nancy. And we hopefully, like she said, will have idea of what the need is. And we're hoping that some of you will be able to take on those kiddos to give them a productive summer. Next on the agenda, I have, if there's the information and updates from DCF and Daytona State, and I am sort of putting them on the spot because I didn't have a chance to talk to them beforehand. So there may be updates. I'm going to start with Jennifer. Are there any updates from Department of Children and Families that you wanted to share with the group?
Sure. I just wanted to share a couple of things. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Because sometimes at home this doesn't work quite right. First of all, for our providers, there is a new process for the fees that come along with your renewal. So I just want to make sure everybody is aware that your fee now goes to Tallahassee to a PO box, and you get an invoice in your renewal packet. So do not send that to the Daytona office. Please send that to Tallahassee. It has to get there the same time as the packets do. So if your due date for your packet is February 28th, your check also needs to arrive in Tallahassee by that date as well. Otherwise, it's considered late. So if the packet's late to our office or the check's late to Tallahassee, either one of those things is considered a late fee. And I have no control over those checks or getting rid of those late fees because it is tracked in Tallahassee. So please try to make sure that you send that out right away. Even if you send that out before your packet, that you get that to Tallahassee. The packets need to be emailed to Veronica or myself, or they can be mailed into the office. They still cannot be dropped off. Our offices are still closed to the public, and we are only allowed in there a certain amount of time a week as well. So please continue to mail those. If you are emailing them, make sure that you have the capability to scan them so that we can read them, because sometimes we have to say, we're sorry, we can't read this. There's also the ability to fax it. So if you need that fax number, please let me know. As far as COVID, the communicable disease in the handbook states that if you have 2 cases, you need to report to the health department. For COVID, that has been changed to 1 case. So if you have 1 positive case in a child or a staff member, you need to call the health department and speak with epidemiology. They will go over what the exposure was, how your center is set up, what precautions you have in place, and they will make the suggestion for what should be done. At this point, we're not seeing a lot of facilities closed. We're seeing sometimes that they request certain classrooms be closed. Okay, so that's definitely something there. And I have that phone number I can provide to you in the breakout room if you need it. Testing, I know Rutha will talk about that. need to start getting that testing done for our staff members that have not tested yet. That extension is due to expire in May. It may be extended, but it's been extended quite a few times at this point, so I don't see it being extended again. I know Rutha has quite a few testing slots opened, so make sure those staff members are getting signed up and going ahead and taking those courses. The extension is just for testing, so they do need to take the class online and show that it's completed. By completing it, it'll show for our counselors so they can see that you completed the courses. You just haven't had the opportunity to test. And those courses are remaining open to the students so that they can review them. If they've taken it quite a while ago now and it's time to go test, they have the opportunity to look through that and review it. Okay, for school readiness providers, you have two options for getting that 90-day pre-service training done. Our option isn't really available at this time because you can't test, and that's how we get that check mark to say that you're compliant. So if you have a brand new person starting, and I always suggest this anyways, if they have no experience in childcare and they have no courses, the easiest and quickest way for you to get them in a classroom alone, where most of you are going to need them, is for them to do the pre-service through early learning. Those are all done online. There's no need to go anywhere to test. The test is right there. They can get them done rather quickly, and then you are compliant, and they can be in the classroom on their own. Okay. So that's it for me right now, and then I'll be in the breakout room if anybody has questions.
All right, thank you very much. I appreciate the info and great job on no notice. And then I will put Rutha on the same spot. If there's any updates for training with Daytona State. Let me see, I thought I saw her on here. If you're talking, you're on mute. Oh, now I can. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi to everyone. Good to see everyone again. Again, as both ladies were saying, with the DCF testing for DCF, due to COVID, as with everything else, there's limited space, but there's availability for registration. One of the key things is when someone takes an exam here at Daytona State, on any Daytona State College campus, there's a student acknowledgement form that's required. What we're finding is that a lot of times the students for DCF, either they don't read their email or they don't provide their document. Because there's a difference, and I want to explain that. Because they are not Daytona State students, they don't have a Daytona State student portal, which is fine. But we send that student acknowledgement form by email to each student that's registered for an exam before the scheduled exam to the email address that's in the DCF system. Sometimes it may go directly to their regular email. Sometimes it may go to spam or trash. We have no control over where the email go. We control the fact that we do email it out. Without that form, they cannot be on any Daytona State College campus. So that form is different than the DCF student code of conduct that they get with their exam confirmation letter. The reason why I'm saying that is when the student shows up, they're asked for that form. A lot of times they say, well, I didn't get it. My director didn't tell me about it, didn't go to my email. That we can't control. Again, the email that's used, that's in the DCF system. The proctors only have the information that the email was sent out and a list of all the students that it was sent to. We have 2 exam sessions each Saturday, and now we're able to have some on Wednesday evenings. For each exam session, they have to have that form. This code of conduct, which is a part of their exam confirmation letter, again, that's automatically generated on the DCF system. But the student acknowledgement form for Daytona State isn't. And that's why we email it to each student. For the exam, does anyone have any questions? No? Okay. The next part, because we do have 2 sessions on Saturdays, we have a 9 o'clock session and we have a 10 o'clock session. What we're finding is that sometimes providers are signed up in both exam sessions. They can only attend one exam session because of the time that they may start. A lot of times the students say, well, I didn't know I was signed up for this, or my administrator signed me up. Regardless to who signed them up, they can only attend one exam session due to the requirements for having to be in the exam session when the exam session begins. So my thing that I just want to share is, if there are administrators signing the students up, please discuss it with your staff, what you signed them up for, because they are either themselves or the school, whoever pays for it, is still responsible for that payment if for some reason they don't make the exam session. Any questions on that yet? Yes, no? Okay. Another last thing is that we will be starting another trauma-informed care class here at Daytona State beginning in August. And I get that information to DCF in Tallahassee and the local ELC here, and also local licensing here, so that they can also share that information at the start of the next trauma-informed care class. And if anyone needs to contact me, my information is available through ELC or email or by phone. Any questions for me? Comments? Okay, that's all I have. Yes.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much, Rutha. And again, great job with no notice. We appreciate you. So at this point, that's all we had on the agenda. We are going to set up breakout rooms if you have any questions. I'm looking to see we are going to set up 4 breakout rooms. Each one will have its own topic. So if you need more information on the ASQ, that is one. If you would like more information on enrollment and eligibility, that is a separate room. VPK info, if you have any questions on that, that'll be a room. And the 4th one will be compliance. And maybe Jennifer, if you could go in there if there's questions specific to licensing or DCF. So Mickey, are you able to set those breakout rooms up? Oh, we have to stop recording, I believe.
Yeah, well, I do have the rooms, and I just want to explain, you're going to get a link, and you can pick which room you want. And if you have more than one question from more than one area, when your question's answered in one, you can leave that meeting, and then you would be able to join another meeting by choose your breakout room. Okay, so here they come.
Okay, so at the bottom, you have the option for breakout rooms. If you click on it, you can select. If you don't have any questions, feel free to leave us. Thank you all so much for taking the time out of your busy day to join us, and reach out if we can support you in.
What questions do you have?
None. I just wanted to see if anyone joined.
Well, these can keep me company. Well, there's 21 unassigned, so I don't know where they're going. I should have told them they could leave if they don't have any questions. See ya.
Yeah, they're probably gonna. I doubt they have questions on it. It's cute.
I don't think so. The good news, as I said to you, the follow-up's going.
So question, since we're on that topic, because I was so confused this morning. What am I supposed to be following up on this parent about? Like, I don't even know.
I think
what to say.
I think she's looking for help with her child in the preschool. That's the way I took Felicia's message.
Yeah, I'm so confused because I didn't want to call her and I didn't know, I don't even know what to say.
Okay, call Felicia and ask for more details. And if it's calling the parent for behavior, send her to Frida.
Right, that's why I was like,
Yeah.
isn't that family services?
Yep.
Like,
Yeah. So just ask her for more clarification. If the mom needs help with the child at the preschool, or is she looking for extra help? And if she's looking for extra help, she should talk to Frida. And
Right.
if she wants help with the preschool, you'll be happy to help her.
Right, okay.
Carrie
Okay,
can't ask about ASQs.
No, I came in here because some of the people that are left aren't able, there goes my, they're not able, they don't, like DJ doesn't see breakout room at the bottom of hers. So while we're in here, can we like invite somebody in?
I
No.
can,
You can-
because
So
on the,
maybe go back to the main area and ask who wants to go where, and you might have to put them there.
okay.
Okay, thank
If-
you.
If anybody comes in, tell them to wait.
You'll be right back. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Hi, Ashley.
Hi.
might get surprised by an earlier termination of their eligibility if they don't have the full year-long eligibility period. And so in that long-standing, it's been a long-standing issue. If someone's eligibility period is shorter than 1 year. And that usually is the case with those that are at risk of abuse and neglect, or those that are with TANF, like those that are coming off of the career source referrals. And you've not been able to see that care easily. And now you'll be able to see that. So it's a second date that we've been put in that is separate from their eligibility period.
Okay, so it's a separate date from eligibility. Their eligibility may be longer than they're actually eligible for. Am I understanding that?
Yeah. So what happens is by federal and state rule, we give them an eligibility period that's a year long. But then we might have to check in on them in a shorter period of time. And sometimes that might be the case. Let's say they have a referral that's good for 90 days. And so we have to check in on them in that 90-day period. They might get another referral for another 90 days, but we have to check in on them. And so we'll put this eligibility redetermination date at 90 days and have us check in on them. And they might get another 90 days, they might not. And that's that extra date that you've not been able to see in the past. And now you can.
Can we not see that date on their certificate?
You can on their certificate, but it wasn't in the system. And lots of providers don't keep track of it manually separately. They were just looking in the system.
Yeah, I guess I haven't been caught with that because I always thought I knew when they were. Like I just had a family start probably 2 or 3 months ago, and I already knew that theirs was up this month. So I don't know how I knew that if it wasn't in there, but somehow I knew it.
It's on their certificate, so you probably caught it, but a lot of people just rely on the system now and don't look back to that certificate.
Okay, I look at certificates. So it was on the certificate, but now I'll be able to see it on more like the main screen is what you're saying.
Right.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you, DJ.
I
Very
came
much out of my realm of knowledge.
I came back because I heard some people didn't have a breakout room thing, so I can move you to a breakout room if you want me to.
Yeah, I went and grabbed her. I'm like, come help, because I couldn't do it.
So who needs a breakout
I
room?
think Emily had questions about VPK.
Okay. Here you go, Emily.
Anyone else need to join a specific breakout room for questions? We have our tech guru, Mickey.
Go to DCF licensing with Jennifer Gisluta.
That was
Rutha?
compliance. That's Rutha. Hi,
Yeah,
Rutha.
compliance.
Hi, DJ.
Off you go, Rutha. You should get an invite.
Okay.
All right. Anyone else?
And then
So
Lori
I'll
might
go
be
to
the
my
only other
room. I
one.
see people in my room now. So I just want to make sure.
Thanks, Mickey.
All right. Thank you for telling
Yeah.
me.
I know.
All right. All right. Maria. What questions did you have for the ASQ?
I was waiting for you guys to see what you guys have, to see if I can learn a little bit more. But I don't have no questions. I already got everything that I have, but I just wanted to see what else do they
Oh, okay.
wonder about.
Yeah, we don't have anything extra unless questions build that extra. So
Okay, perfect then. So thank you very much.
thanks, Maria. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
All right. So I don't think we're having any more. Enrollment has one. Emily's in there. A lot of people are in compliance. So do you feel comfortable with that suggestion, Ashley? For Felicia?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Yep.
Because like when she sent, I'm like, okay, well, if we're following the provider and the families and everyone else, like what are they doing? Like, what's the point of having them? If we're doing family services, our job, their job, compliance job, and quality job, and everybody else's job.
Good question. Yes. And I'm going to leave it at that. So yes, I think there's a general feel in lots of the family services, like DeLand constantly will send me an email about a mom was here, and primarily because they know we'll do something versus
Right. And that's the frustration of it all, because it seems like
we aren't the behaviorists.
They just dump all of everything on us. It's like we're the catch-all of everyone's job. Like, oh, give it to inclusion.
Yeah. Let's do this. Flossie, how you doing on the flyer? The book is cool, and did Ashley send you the activities? Did you get to Ashley?
Yeah, I hadn't. The activities in the back of the book. I hadn't talked to you yet because I had to do another thing this morning. In the back of the book, out of her office. I was going to ask you to send me the activities, but I hadn't called you yet. But yeah, I read the flyer, the letter that you sent me, that you text me the copy of. I changed the wording, so I was just going to use that word, but I took out that it was from that program and just put that we that we were doing it for our literacy, that we were recognize child abuse. We're doing in recognition of child abuse prevention, and then actually right here. I ain't got to putting all them pictures and stuff on there, but I don't think they need a lot of that. But let's see. So what I was trying to open up what I do have so far. So it had, dear parent, your child will be participating in a literacy initiative in recognition of Child Abuse Prevention Month in April. And then I skipped all the part about the Safer Kids because we're talking about them, because we're not, their program.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then participate in the program over the next, his class. This has their kindergarten class, so I got their preschool class will read the book. I have the title of the book over the next few weeks, period. And then it talks about curriculum. Hold on just a minute. I just got a little visitor. Let me get her out of the room. Okay. Where was it? Okay, so then parents and other responsible adults want to protect children from those who might harm them, but no child can be supervised 24 hours a day. And then instead of saying the SAFER program, I put the title of the book, My Body Belongs to Me, is a prevention tool that will teach children ways he or she can reduce the likelihood of being abused and ways to get help from others if needed. And then it talks about the curriculum. We're not doing their curriculum. So I skipped down to, okay. Some of the topics your child will learn about is body boundaries, respecting themselves and others, listening to their guiding voice, and telling a trusted adult when a situation makes them feel confused or uncomfortable. And then if you have any questions about the curriculum, so I'm taking our curriculum about My Body Belongs